Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of D&D Recap. For those of you wondering why this looks a little bit different than what you are used to, I am trying something brand new. We're going to do kind of a Draw My Life style recap. It will get better, I promise. It's just kind of a weird situation in general. So, without any further ado, let's introduce you to the new characters for the new season of D&D Encounters. The first character is Morgan. Wait for it. Blackstone. And this is my lovely inability to draw. But he has a happy face and a little hat. And it's not a dunce cap. That is a wizard hat. Because he's a wizard. Morgan Blackstone, the wizard. And now we get rid of his name so I have more room to draw, which I really didn't need. But again, work in progress. I'm still learning. Morgan Blackstone used to be in the military. And when you're in the military, you say, yes, sir. And I understand that's really hard to read my handwriting, but you'll get over it. But then he's like, you know what? Maybe the military's not for me. So he's like, or not. So he's former military, but he's not in the military anymore. And he still has a magical wizard's hat. 'Cause he's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. And then we can draw him again. See, he has a smiley face and a wizard hat. And after being in the military, he's like, you know what? I'm going to be a cop. So he got a cop badge. I didn't know how else to show that he was a cop. Like I don't have drawing abilities. So he's now law enforcement. So yeah, he's that's Morgan Blackstone. And then our next one is Ed. And I kind of forgot that I wasn't drawing everything in capital letters, but this is Edward Drake. Edward Drake's another one of the new characters that they just made for this. Edward Drake is another stick person, because I can't draw real people. He's got kind of a weird expression, but the most unique thing about him, Edward Drake is a druid, and those are antlers. No, they're not TV antennas, those are antlers, because Edward Drake is a druid, and druids have antlers. But Edward Drake is also another slightly different thing. Edward Drake is also a pirate, and pirates wear eye patches. So, yeah, Edward Drake, the druid pirate with an eye patch and antlers. I guess it doesn't really matter that I have no idea if this is how the characters playing them envision them, but so that's his pirate ship. See, isn't that pretty? I've got such amazing pirate ship. Such amazing artwork ability. And that's a little version of him. And you'll know that it's him because his antlers. See, I put antlers on there so you know that it's him. And then I labeled it because obviously my drawing sucks. You need labels. Well, he was serving on a pirate ship and he'd had all these cool pirate adventures with the rest of this crew, which a large part of the crew were actually these orc pirates. It actually says orc pirates, not just anything. And then there's the captain, who is one of his friends, and you'll see that his head is on the deck beside him, and that's blood because he's dead. See, that's dead captain. So yeah, the orc pirates killed the captain dead, because that's kind of what happens when you kill someone is they get dead. And so that's why he's no longer a pirate anymore. He decided to go somewhere else to not be a pirate. He's like, all my friends are dead. ... So he's no longer on a pirate ship. Now he's on land because the campaign we're playing doesn't involve pirate ships. But I'm like, he can still be a pirate because that's cool. That's his background. So the next character is Roland Rock Green Bottle. It's supposed to be Bottle. I don't know why I put bottom. I think it's supposed to be Bottle. Because his brother is going to be Green Bottle. And he's got shifty eyes. Because he's a rogue. Because rogues got shifty eyes. And then he also has a ninja mask. because for reasons. Because yeah, he's technically a rogue, but ninja mask works. I think he'd wear a ninja mask. So he and his brother actually had this family brew house that was really nice, and they both worked there before they became the people they are today. But those same orcs that killed uh, Ed's captain and everything, the pirate orcs, they came through the town where they all lived, and they set the brew house on fire. That's fire. That's my really bad fire. I had to label it because you couldn't tell it was fire. So they set it all on fire and burnt it to the ground. Unfortunately, with Roland Rock, with his parents in there, and so his parents died, and that made him very sad. And that's the rubble of the former brew house, which again I had to label because no one can actually tell what my drawings are. And that's him. He has a single tear. He has a single tear because his parents are dead. But ninjas don't cry. See? Ninjas don't cry. So, he decided to take up a life of crime and being on the wrong side of the law instead of trying to rebuild the brewery. Because that's expensive. It's expensive to rebuild a brewery. So, the next new character, his name is Heine. Heine Green Bottle. See, and this time I put bottle instead of bottom. I'm actually not sure which one it is. I'll have to look up. I had this all written down. But he has a bow. That's a bow. And he has a face, too. I can't forget that he has a face. Everybody's got a face. And that's a bow. As you can see, I had to label it for Rangers. Because he's a ranger. He is... we're just going to call him R2. Roland Rock, he is R2 from now on. He's R2's brother. See, there's R2 with his ninja mask. And here's a little speech bubble. My brother! See? So they're brothers. So they both lost their parents because they're brothers, so their parents were the same. So they both lost their parents in that fire. And I drew the rubble again because you gotta see the rubble and see that he was sad. But he's a ranger, so he actually had 2 tears. He had 2 tears, and it's not okay for ninjas to cry, but rangers do cry, and so he cried. He cried that his parents were gone. So then he couldn't stay in town. I mean, that would have been the greatest thing in the world because his parents are all dead and all that. So there was a forest. There's a forest near town. And I had to label it because, again, no one can understand it. And he's like, you know what? I am going to go live in the forest. Because I don't have any reason to stay here. My parents are dead and the brewery is gone. And it was a good brewery, too. And it's just gone now. So, while he was there, he met a really, really bad drawing. He met a spider. And the spider took him in and kind of raised him as a surrogate father. So he now thinks of the spider as kind of a father figure. He's like, "You're my new dad," which is a weird thing, to be perfectly honest. And so that's where he came from. He's a ranger. He was raised by spiders instead of wolves. I mean, that's totally believable and legit. And here is our other lovely named character, Achilles' heels. Yes, that was on purpose. And Achilles' heels has a pope hat. It floats above her head, apparently. But she's a cleric, and so clerics have pope hats. I don't know why clerics have pope hats, but they do. Because I've decided they do. So yeah, Achilles' heels is our lovely cleric. And as you can see, there's Heine, and there's his brother R2. R2 with his shifty eyes and his ninja mask. And she's like, wow, those are my friends. She grew up with Heine and R2. She likes them. But there was a little bit of drama in their past. As as Heine was learning how to use his bow and arrow, he actually shot Achilles' heels in the heel, and she spoke entirely in symbols for a little bit after that happened because it hurt. And obviously he's like, "Oops, my bad. I didn't mean to hit you in the foot." But Achilles heals things, because that's what clerics do. So she forgave him, but she still, every so often, if it rains, she'll have like a limp, because she got shot in the heel with an arrow from her friend, and that's just not good. And our next character, this is his name. It's on his character sheet. His name is Nuts in Your Mouth. Yeah, that's his. Surprisingly enough, he's actually one of the older members of the table. He just decided he wanted a really juvenile name, so he's another cleric, but he's a Tempest cleric, which is a little bit weird. So he has a spiral on his Pope hat instead of a cross. He's a Tempest cleric. And because he has such a quote-unquote cool name, he has to wear sunglasses everywhere. And that's a way that I can actually differentiate him when I'm drawing further drawings. So that's Nuts in Yamath. It's just... So anyway, Nutsin actually used to work. This time it's a pirate boat, but it's actually the same thing. So you can see right there, that's our lovely Ed, and Ed's there, and I can't actually remember how to spell Ed, but see, he actually used to work on that pirate ship a long time ago, before the half orc or the orc pirates went and killed everybody, and he got off before they all got killed because he had other things he wanted to do. So yeah, he actually used to be a sailor thing. And our next amazing, awesome person, his name is Flame Karoff. Now, Flame is actually a genasi, and he's a fire genasi, and because of that, he has fire for hair, because that's really awesome. And he's a sorcerer. He has fire for hair, and he's a sorcerer. So that's really cool. And he actually... he doesn't tend to really get along. He lived on his own for a while. As you can see, that's a volcano, and that's lava. That's lava because it's a volcano, and that's where he used to live. He lived there for a while because he kind of liked his space and stuff like that, and he likes it hot because he's a flame genasi, and volcanoes have fire and molten lava, so they're hot. So yeah, he used to live there, but every so often, his buddy would come around. Do you know who his buddy was? And there's his flaming red hair. So you can see it's really easy to tell that that's him. You know who his buddy was? With his cool sunglasses and his Tempest cleric hat? He actually was pretty good friends after Nutsin got off the ship. He used to visit Flame at the volcano. So they were actually kind of buddies. They liked each other. They haven't seen each other for a long time. So yeah. And then our final character is Ragan. Ragan has no last name. He's kind of like Madonna. And he has a cool hat with a feather in it. That's supposed to be a feather. It's a red feather for a cardinal. Just because I like the color red and I was running out of marker colors. But he has a fancy folk hero hat because he is a folk hero. And he's got a sword and a shield because he is a fighter. So see that? He's a warrior fighter person. And so yeah, that's what he does, and he's good at it. And he does folk hero stuff. Because yeah, that's what he does. Folk hero type stuff. So anyway, that's all for this week, and I will see you guys next week for another D&D recap. Bye-bye!